Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the United Hour. Today is going to be a very jam-packed special show today. And with me today, I have got my guest right now, Mr. Rasmus Veghorst, the man Big Phil,
Yep.
and CJ Birdman.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, good evening. How's it going?
Ooh,
Where's our hair going? You'll join us later on.
Correct.
um, well, I come back from vacation not too long, so although man, our stomach life good.
And welcome to the panel as well, the man, Mr. Zahir Abbas. Zahir, good evening. How are you doing? Zahir will come back on the show later on, I guess. But
Zaire
anyway,
boy, what's up, tight man?
moving on with that right now. We definitely have quite a bit to cover. And I also did not introduce myself earlier. My name is Devin. If you don't know who I am already, I am Mr. Man United. I guess that's a good way to put it.
And Tony Starks. Tony Starks.
So I guess I got to change my nickname as well too, right?
Yes. Fact.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that at some point as well too. Good afternoon to Mr. Martin Phillip. Always one of the first, if not the first, to always comment on every single show. But without further ado, today we will start the show off like this right now. Incoming rule changes. So let me see now. Zahir, you there?
You hear that here?
Well, with that being said, I will leave him there for now. He can sort himself out. Zahir, once you're ready, give us a thumbs up if you think that you're good. So upcoming this season right now, there's some key Premier League changes that are coming this year in terms of rules. And the first rule right now that I want to go over is the offside rule. And so the biggest takeaway from this is that if there is a player that's in an offside position and the ball hits a defending player en route to them, then the player could still be offside. So with that being said, basically, essentially, like if the player is offside, sometimes they could be deemed onside if it took a deflection off a defending player and they still got to it. So from now on, if they're just in the offside position, that is it. That's a good way to put it. Now, the next rule, which is going to be very controversial, I think, is going to be the unsporting behavior rule, saying starting in August now, players can avoid receiving a card for unsporting behavior if the referee is certain they made a deliberate attempt to win the ball in a tackle. The exact definition of what constitutes unsporting behavior in this context is somewhat ambiguous. So essentially, if a player concedes a penalty while attempting to play the ball, they will not be shown a red card if the match is believed there's a genuine attempt to win the ball, i.e. straight red cards for last man, clear goal scoring opportunities. So you remember how in the past, if it was a foul and if you were on goal and you made an attempt to win the ball, even though you fouled him, you got booked, it was a straight red no matter what. Now, if you made a genuine attempt to win the ball, it will not be a straight red. But if it's clear that you still just took him out no matter what, that's still sending off. And this next one, I like to call this the Emi Martinez rule, goalkeeper conduct. So goalkeepers cannot behave in a way that unfairly distracts the kicker. So this could be such as delaying taking the kick, touching the goalpost, the crossbar, or the net. And the interpretation of these rules could vary from referee to referee. So here is and this is one that's also causing a lot of controversy as well right now, the goal celebrations. So right now, however long you take in your goal celebration, do whatever it is that you're doing, from here on out, that will be added into the extra time. So, gentlemen, before I go to what one of our players' takes is on this, what are your thoughts on these rule changes? I will start with Bernard.
Yeah. Genuinely, I find the rules is the ambiguity for me that I have my little concern about it because really and truly, with the Premier League and how they did it with the past rules, it was inconsistent. So I don't know what to expect with these new rules. I think one rule that I find I could understand it, but it didn't make sense was the celebration rule because really and truly, the celebrations, people do celebrate a lot. People, it does waste time to an extent, but at the same time, though, that kind of kills the passion of the game for me because if I score a last minute goal in the 90th minute, in the dying moments, are you telling me that's going to push the game on? That doesn't make any sense to me. The offside rule, I find it's a bit harsh, but okay. But I find it's a bit unfair that if it knocks a defender, it will still be offside because I find that just it kills it because and it kind of makes the game a bit less intense for me. But that's just my opinion on it overall.
So remember, essentially with that, like again, it's if the player is in a clear offside position, the ball's played to him. Let's say like it gets through to him somehow, then they'll still raise a flag on that one.
Oh,
So yeah,
but would that mean, like, for example, the goal with in the derby against City, the equalizer with Rashford not touching it, would that be considered offside now?
no, I don't. Well, remember that didn't hit a defender.
Didn't hit a
On
defender.
the,
Oh, it hit a defender.
I don't think it hit a defender, but I think it was just Rashford was in the offside position but never touched the ball.
Oh, okay.
And then Bruno came and stole it. If it's the goal that I'm thinking that you're referring to.
Yeah, but overall, I just think the rules. It's not bad. I understand what they want to do. But I like the one with the genuine challenge. But again, the ambiguity of it, it kind of makes me feel a way about it because.
Oh, and sorry, I forgot to add in some other rule changes in there as well too.
Oh, okay.
So the next rule now is there's players will be booked now for crowding the ref,
Oh
and
well.
also managers can only have one manager in the coach's box as well too.
Oh well. To be honest, the crown the ref thing, I could understand that because it really does get ridiculous. And when you saw with the Alexander Mitrovic situation, they had to make a change and they made a stance on it. So I could understand that one. So for me, I think the one with the fight genuine challenge is not a bad approach, but the ambiguity of it kind of makes me concerned. So overall, I'll have to see how it goes to put a final judgment on it.
And so before we go to Big Phil, I just want to go through some of the comments here right now. So good afternoon to Paul. Good afternoon to Courtney. Good afternoon, Dixie Ann. CJ, you're real popular today, by the way.
It wasn't my idea to give my name, eh? It wasn't my idea to put any name. It wasn't my idea.
Good afternoon to Alex. And you're saying it wasn't your idea, but
Wasn't my idea. I don't know where they get nickname from, honestly.
good afternoon to Anne Roy as well too. And so, Big Phil, with these rule changes coming in, you think these are for the better or for the worse coming up?
You can easily say it's for anybody can say it's for the worse, but over time, people will just have to get accustomed to these rules, right? The the rules I kind of understand the changes for, and you'll probably have to go back over them. Crowding the ref, definitely you can get a yellow for that. Um, with regards to the celebrations, I kind of agree because there are some teams who celebrate over the top and make these celebrations kind of exorbitant. The celebration I know that comes to mind that was a bit exorbitant was Adebayor running the entire pitch when he scored against Arsenal. That was a bit over the top, but they kind of enjoyed it because not only was it Adebayor, former Arsenal player, scoring against Arsenal, but that running the whole pitch and then cheers being pelted at him. But I digress. The other rules with regards to the last man, you're saying that if I look to bring down a guy, but it can be so subjective. I could be bringing down a guy and still be going for the ball at the same time, no?
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but again, it's if the ref determines you're making an attempt at the ball, then you won't be sent off. But if it's clear you made no deliberate attempt, i.e., you just took the man out because you knew what was coming, then that still is a red card.
Okay, I could work with that.
However, I could see that being up to the referee's interpretation of how the play goes as well.
I could work with that. And you're saying that the offside rule, if it is deflected off of a defender and another guy is just lurking offside, they're gonna play it as an advantage, or you're gonna play it as an onside. That's what you're saying.
They're gonna play as offside.
They're gonna play it as offside.
Yes. So if you're in the offside position at all, no matter what,
Yeah.
and the ball's played to and gets to you, the flag will go up.
Oh yeah, I could work with that. Yeah. So basically, just to recap, somebody sending a through ball to me. I'm in the offside position, but it deflects off of a defender and it comes to me. I'm offside.
Correct.
Yeah, I could work with that. Yeah, I haven't heard any. I heard you said there was one rule that was controversial. Which one did you say that you said would be controversial?
Let me think about which one it was now. It
Yeah,
probably I think it was the off I think it was the offside one actually.
yeah. I trying to put myself in somebody else's shoes who would think that it's not the right rule, but as of right now, I can just see it as logic. Right? Stay on side, and you know play football.
So I think it could potentially also be the referee discretion for what is a clear attempt at a ball.
Attempt in terms of like a tackle or the same
So
rule
in
we're talking
terms
about.
like a last man tackle, things like that. That was normally a sending off before.
Okay. But it can be
Uh,
it can be so subjective because it's all about football angles, right? Because, for example, if I push a ball, if I push a ball past a guy, let's say it's me versus Murder. I know I fasten at Murder, and I push this ball past Murder, and Murder generally looks to he think he can win the ball, but I know he's not going to win this ball, and he brings me down. Is that something that the ref has to now go to VAR, or he has to make a decision on the spot? That's
so that I mean that's what's going to come up to interpretation this season, and so
yeah.
that's why people are still uncertain about this right now. I know a lot of goalkeepers at playing, especially playing when I played as a goalkeeper as well too, are not happy with the goalkeeping rule changes coming up as well too. Because I mean,
So
they like for but it's a continuation thing. Because remember before goalkeepers would take advantages by taking that jump off the line and to go from there. They took that away. Now you can't do things to try and psych out the spot kick taker or anything like that as well too. So it kind of feels like what else are you gonna add on now too?
it's become a bit soft. I think the one yellow card, or I think the one yellow card that should be given to a goalkeeper is if he makes an attempt to disrupt the penalty spot. I think that if he is looking to provide a surface where the penalty taker can slip, I definitely will provide a yellow card for him. Right? If I were the referee, I would stand up right in front of the penalty spot to make sure he doesn't do that. Or I would have, if I'm the penalty taker, I would make sure my teammates stand around me. Right? But that's a conversation for another time. So far, the rules that you've mentioned, they don't seem um out of hand, but I think when the Premier League starts, we'll see what happens within the first 4 or 5 weekends, right? Because each weekend there are about what 10 games playing, right?
But more than that, because every team plays. So
Yeah, so like between Friday and Monday, you get 10 plus games playing. So
mhm.
there's going to be at least 1 or 2 games where they're going to have to talk about the referee, and that's not what football should be about. But this is the EPL where the referees and the FA are questionable, right?
So
Yep.
Courtney is saying that he has an issue with the goalkeeping rule. Courtney, definitely elaborate on that. So you're saying it doesn't make sense. You're giving the kicker the advantage now. Um, yeah, I could see that. I could see that point of view as well too. But I definitely wanted to get a perspective from a current player and a current player from within our team to be at that. Rafael Varane, who is I'll read this out for everybody in a second. Just give me 1 second as well. So Varane is basically saying right now, we had a meeting last week with the FA. They recommended from the referee new decisions and rules. For the managers and players, we have shared our concerns for many years now that there are too many games, the schedule is overcrowded, and it's at a dangerous level for players' physical and mental well-being. Despite our previous feedbacks, they have now recommended for next season longer games, more intensity, and less emotions to be shown by the players. We just want to be in good condition on the pitch to give 100% to our club and fans. Why are our opinions not being heard? As a player, I feel very privileged to do the job I love every day, but I feel these changes are damaging our game. We want to be at our maximum level, the best we can be, and put on amazing performances for fans to celebrate every week. I believe it is important that we players, and managers highlight these important issues that we want to protect the game we love and give the fans our best. So, gentlemen, do you think Varane has a point here, or is it just get on with it?
He has a point. In the
I
sense,
mean,
you go ahead.
he does have a point. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Football players are still human beings. Yes, they are our. We're trying to find the right way. They are our entertainment. From August/September to April/May, depending on where your team finishes or whatever competition they're still in, right? By the end of the day, they're still human beings, and I kind of share. I kind of get where Varane is coming from. So the main question I got to ask: do the English FA even listen to any of these players? Do they even listen? Like they think that you know they've seen it all and that they can make decisions based on what their eyesight see. Right? They aren't on the pitch playing 38 plus games a season. The FA, right? But Varane well said. He said it in a professional manner, and we go from there.
All right, CJ. So, what are you thinking about this one?
I agree because if you look at a good example, if you look at the pandemic, in the sense that yes, they were out there, they were playing, and since the pandemic era, the football has been a bit intense. Given that in the pandemic era, they had to worry about testing, they had to worry about keeping themselves safe and healthy, they had to worry about their families and loved ones. They didn't really get a break after the pandemic era. It actually was more football in the pandemic era. And then you look at the World Cup season when they went into the league, then into the World Cup. I mean, yes, players would get rest from not being in the World Cup, but a lot of big stars and big teams and a lot of players were still there playing the most football. And then when you look at, I think he also is watching too, like in his season, when we had the injuries coming down to last season when everybody was getting injured, and our schedule was one of the toughest schedules in the league. I think it was the toughest schedule in the Premier League in Europe. And it's like at some point you have to ask yourself, when are we going to give players a break? When are we going to give players the benefit of resting, being there, and on top of it, not to think as rested as to help themselves not just save up for this season, but the next season and their overall careers. Because we really have been seeing a lot of injuries, especially this preseason when we kind of saw injuries here and there. One had to ask, when you think about it, am I going to do all these games? And yes, players can rotate, managers can rotate, but it's still a lot even for rotating squads. So for me, he does have a big point.
So, I definitely want to go into a few of these comments that are coming through on this topic right now. Alex is saying that longer season leads to injuries and can cost you in the long run. FA is just looking to make more money. I could definitely agree on that last part for sure. Do not see any. I don't think anybody will disagree with that one. Zahir is saying that there really needs to be proper dialogue on this. The added time will eventually tot up into much more minutes on the field for players. Quick maths: 38 games, say by 10 minutes each. That's 380 extra minutes. So that's a little over 4 extra games in added time over a season. Mr. Martin Phillip is saying, did UEFA put any pressure on the leagues to make changes to the length at the time at the end of games? I don't think it was UEFA. I actually think this was we started seeing it at the World Cup when Pierluigi Collina, everybody remembers, no doubt the greatest ref of all time. Now I think he heads the association of all the refs and whatnot, and he recommended these changes. But it seems now that the Premier League is following what the World Cup did there, and they're going to implement it here as well too. Good evening to Mr. Mark Lewis, and he's saying this is a perfect recipe for more injuries. Not a good move by the FA. Yeah, I could definitely see that one as well too. But let's get into some more news right now as well too. this could be good news for some United fans as well right now. It has been reported today that West Ham United and Manchester United have agreed a 30 million pound, a minimum 30 million pound transfer fee for Harry Maguire. However, it is not has not been set in stone. That is just the fee. They have agreed on the fee right now. Um, Depending on what side of the field you're on, some people are just happy to see Maguire gone. Some people are upset that they're thinking that we're not even recouping half the transfer fee that we paid for him. Um, I have not really heard anybody that is exactly thrilled about the prospect of Harry Maguire staying. So those are about the two things now that I could see, depending on where you are, which side you're on, and then you just have the people that just don't care that he's leaving. So I'll start with Big Phil on this one. What is your take on this right now?
Well, I mean, you said that some people are. You said that some United fans are upset. I gotta change that some to say either most or all United fans should be glad that he's left. Right. To address the United fans who are upset that we're not recouping half of the fee. Harry Maguire signed for us in 2019 for 80 million. Do you really expect that 4 years later he's going to be worth the same, let's say 70 or 80 million based on his performances as well? No, he isn't. I expected us to at least get 20 to 25 mil for Harry Maguire. I was getting 30 from West Ham. You're finally spending that Declan Rice money. Perfect. You just got Ward Prowse. Perfect. Harry Maguire definitely has served his time. Ten Hag is definitely shifting out the dead wood. And not it's only rival fans that are upset that Maguire is leaving Man United because at the end of the day he was an easy target to make fun of. But come, I want to say, end of this transfer window, I want to say confidently he will be no longer a Manchester United player. My only worry is that when in a transfer, right, the club normally looks to agree personal terms with the player first and then negotiate with the club, right? For some reason, they decided to negotiate with the club first and then the player afterwards. I would have rather they negotiate with Harry Maguire than negotiate with us afterwards. But, we'll see what happens. And au revoir, Harry Maguire. So long.
Birdman?
To be very
Birdman,
honest,
you're looking very tired over there.
nah, it's just real cool inside here. Sorry. Um, Honestly, I I have a different route taken that I'm not I don't want him to stay, but at the same time, no, I'm a bit sympathetic, although many would say different. Me personally, I just really hope that he takes it for his career in the sense that my thing is this. I understand that yes, you don't say no to Manchester United, but if it's not working out, it's not working out. If you see in that something is not really going to plans not including you. Like the club did not post a picture of him in the new kit, he posted it himself. Like United did not have him in none of the galleries. I was like, bro, if this club not telling you to leave, I don't know what else to tell you. And for them to agree with of the fee in principle before talking to him, that means they wanted to go. And as someone else say, why is staying in a place that nobody wants you? Let's say go. But for me, I'm taking a route in that I'm not celebrating him going, but at the same time, I'm just here like, well, if he leaves, good. We're gonna get a new defender, but I really hope it works out for him. I hope in the West Ham things that it works out because again, it's still a person. So I just hope it works out. But I really do feel like it's gonna be good. He tells a million fee. Genuinely, I don't care what fee is. Once my boy gone, I good. I mean, if West Ham want to pay 30 million for him, by all means. So yeah.
So I definitely want to hear some of the or read some of the comments out on this one right now. Mr. Mark Lewis is saying, "Hope it all works out for Maguire after a horrible time at United. He needs to move on." Zahir is also commenting on your new name as well too. Just wanted to bring
Yeah,
that up in there.
I would know.
He's also saying 30 million. He's saying that we're robbing West Ham. Don't care.
To be
Um,
to be
but
fair,
it's good for them.
to be fair, I don't know why Chelsea fans celebrating because he had real good luck against Chelsea, in my opinion. Though. Like he never had a problem playing against Chelsea. Man scored on Chelsea. He did. I don't know why they're celebrating, but okay.
So Martin Phillip is saying, did Maguire agree to personal terms with West Ham because that can stop the transfer? I think Big Phil, you were alluding to that earlier
Yeah.
in our discussion before, but so be it. Alex is saying that Harry is too slow to play in Ten Hag's system and would not get much time. Time for him to move on, and we wish him all the best. Uh, don't really see any issues there. I can tell you, personally, the reason why I think that he will go, and it has nothing to do with Manchester United. I think it has to do with Gareth Southgate.
Yes,
I think
yes
I
and
think
no.
I think Gareth Southgate is starting to get under a little bit of pressure now for his criticism and loyalty to players, picking players who are not playing with their clubs as well versus other players who are playing well with their clubs. And so I just have some sort of feeling that somehow it's been told that if you want to keep your spot in the England side, you gotta be playing with your club. So I have a sneaky feeling that that's what is causing this a lot right now. Zahir saying no, Phil. This way he knows if he agreed, so he can't play crazy and refuse fair personal terms.
No, any player could still reject
No,
it.
I'm saying that in regular transfers, like for example, most of the transfers this summer, you always see the club has gone to the camp or the agent of the player, agree personal terms first, just to make just to lock off like half of the deal, and then they go to the player to negotiate. We did it with Hojlund. Arsenal did it with Declan Rice and Julian Timber. We also did it with Mason Mount when we were trying to find a fee because locking off the personal terms is the easier option out of lock. Let me start over between locking off personal terms and agreeing a club fee, locking off personal terms is the easier option. So let's get the easier option out of the way and then focus on going back and forth, right? That's what most clubs are doing this season, right? So yeah.
And Zahir is also saying that Southgate has called him and warned him already. Um, don't know if that's true or not, but if that's what you're saying, then that's what you're saying. One other thing that I wanted to get into, another topic today as well now, is potentially is Ten Hag signing players knowing that they are injured right now. So there was a report that came out yesterday from a certain news outlet in the UK, where I guess it was the chief sports reporter for that, was claiming that our newest signing, Rasmus Hojlund, actually failed a part of the medical involving stress fractures, saying that he has a stress fracture and all this, and it would take time for it to recover. But he claimed he got it from a source near to the club. But he was very vague on details exactly who and whatnot. So, but with that being said, right now, uh, it is Laurie Whitwell is reporting now that United are targeting the 3rd of September against Arsenal as a date when Hojlund can make his debut. So, gentlemen, what is your take on this right now?
On Ten Hag signing injured players or just Hoyland making his debut against Arsenal?
Well, that I'm alluding to the topic right now that people are saying that Hojlund actually is nursing an injury right now, and the club knew this, and Ten Hag still signed him right now.
Nah. Is a bit over the top to say Ten Hag signs injured players. Who from last season did Ten Hag sign that was injured? Who from this summer transfer window other than Hoyland did we sign that was injured? No one, right? You look at Casemiro, ready to go. You look at Anthony, debut versus Arsenal and scored. Malacia was ready. Um, Christian Eriksen was ready. And even from this season, Mount was ready. Onana was ready. So yeah, just saying Hoyland. It's just So I was telling people in other WhatsApp groups, if we had signed Hojlund and he had an injury history, then I would be a bit concerned. Or we signed
Mhm.
Hojlund and for some reason he had sustained an injury like what Christopher and Cuckoo had or what Gabriel Jesus had, then I will be concerned. But if he's going to make his debut against Arsenal September 3rd, September 3rd is what? Less than a month away? I don't
Yep.
mind. I really don't mind. So yeah, let's see what the guy can do. I saw him in training today. Not me personally, but I mean on social media. I saw him in
Yeah.
training. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna see how you got a flight to here back so fast, like.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you called me Tony Stark. Hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, that's my take.
All right, CJ. Same question.
Genuinely, I just think it's an overreaction. Like, is my thing. I often, when I heard it was a kind of stress related injury that if not treated, it would lead to a lot of injuries in the future. I told myself, oh, well, yeah, Eric looking long term. If this man missed 2 weeks, what? Do you win the Premier League in 2 weeks? No. In the Saturday 2 weeks? No. No, you don't. And by that time, we would still be having a rhythm. We would still be figuring out everything like every other team in the league. So for him to come in 2 weeks, it will come like he knows starting like everybody else. And I think what kind of weirds me out is that people are trying to make it like a thing like, oh look, we signed an injured player. But in reality, it's just rest needed. Matter of fact, what day did we sign Anthony?
Sure.
It was
It was after the season started, if I remember correct.
exactly. Anthony came after the season started and he scored against Arsenal. It it doesn't bother me. And personally, you know what I think Eric Ten Hag knew that it was something he had to prepare for when he made Jadon Sancho a false nine during preseason. I was watching that, and when I look at it now, it's like, oh, he knew what it was, so he prepared for it. So when it's time for Hojlund to come, we just wouldn't be missing him for a while. So he had a plan already. So I think Eric Ten Hag had a plan for Hojlund. So for me, at this point, I think it's not a big deal as everyone thinking it is. I'm seeing the plans. I'm seeing what it is. So it's not a problem.
I definitely want to read off some of the comments regarding this issue right now. Zahir is saying something similar to this took place with Sir Alex Ferguson and Ruud van Nistelrooy. So, for those who are not aware of this, this is back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy was supposed to be at United. I think it was 1 or 2 years before he actually ended up coming to the club. But within that time, he actually sustained a really bad injury. I want to say it was his ACL, I think it was. And so he needed the time to recover. And then when he did recover, well, the rest is history with him at the club. Um, he's also stating that Sir Alex also waited and gave Ruud time to recover. And then he became my favorite striker at the club. So anyway, he's also saying that I think this case with Hojlund is an issue that our medical staff feels confident they can not only manage successfully, but also one thing that will not keep him off the field for too long. Mark Lewis is agreeing with Zahir on this one, saying, yeah, remember Sir Alex bought Van Nistelrooy injured, just saying. And I don't think you'll find any United fan who said that that was a mistake. Ashton is saying, good evening to Ashton. He's saying, I don't support Ten Hag signing injured player at all. That's nonsense. Zahir is saying, look at it this way. He is 20. A slight problem has been found. Let us sign him now, get him right, and then we have him for a long period, hopefully. And I hope so as well too, because he is a boyhood United fan. We've all seen the pictures of him in the United kits when he was a little kid as well too. Courtney is saying players get injured. It is a fact of playing professional sports. It is better we find out now than it gets worse in the long term. Yeah, I could see that. I don't disagree with that. With that, I'd take it all. Mr. Martin Phillip is saying, if not Hojlund, then who? Then the medical team is suspect. People always look to create a storm in a teacup.
Facts.
I could not agree more with that, especially when it comes to Manchester United. They look for anything that they think could cause any sort of hysterics or anything like that, because unfortunately, negativity sells.
That's
Well,
true.
gentlemen, the Premier League season is starting this week right now. Friday, I think it's Man City versus Burnley first. Uh, Vincent Company versus Pep Guardiola. Whatever other takes you want to look at it right now. But with that being said, we have to figure out what is going to be our top four predictions on this one. So I wanted to make sure that we have quite a bit of time on the show because I want you to go through your top four and I want you to say exactly why you're picking the order that you are right now. With this one, I will be going last,
I don't know. Go
and
first.
I will be letting CJ go first on this
No,
one.
nah. Don't let me go first now, please. I really don't. Let Phil go first now. I don't really. Like my top four. Like my top four.
All right, Phil, go ahead.
Yeah. I think by default, most football fans are going to say Manchester City as number one. Um, I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a bold prediction here right now. Right, I don't think that Arsenal will be in the top four, even though they've signed Declan Rice, who improves their midfield, and also Jurian Timber. I just don't see the likes
Don't
of
don't
Kai.
forget about don't forget about David Raya as well.
Yeah.
I don't see the likes of Kai Havertz being the difference between Arsenal last season and Arsenal this upcoming season, right? I don't see Kai Havertz and Eddie Nketiah being the the reason to lead Arsenal to a Premier League title, right? So I have Arsenal outside of the top four. I'm gonna put Man United, Chelsea, and Liverpool only because Chelsea is doing a revamp and Chelsea has one game a week. They're not playing any Champions League football. They
They
do
still
have
have cup competitions as well.
yeah, but
Yeah.
those cup competitions are far and few between, right? Um, they have Mauricio Pochettino at the helm, and we saw what he could do with Tottenham with a very limited budget. Now we'll see what he can do with Chelsea with I don't want to say unlimited budget, right? But we know how Chelsea is, right? Um, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp have learned their lesson from last season. I think now that the likes of Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah and also Luis Diaz and is it Diego Jota? Yeah, Diego Jota
Yeah.
now are fully fit. They're gonna cause Premier League defenses problems. And last but by no means least, my explanation for us, Manchester United Football Club, is because we're slowly but surely getting rid of, let's say, our deadwood. Our midfield is going to improve drastically. We finally have a number nine who can receive service from the likes of Bruno and possibly Mount and also Casemiro and a number nine to take the a number nine to I don't use burden a number nine to share the goal scoring load with Marcus Rashford, right? Um, so yeah, in a particular order, I want to say City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea.
All right, so I will make sure that I mark that off. You said City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea.
City,
United,
United,
Liverpool.
Liverpool, Chelsea.
All right. All right, CJ.
Um, I have City and Liverpool, City United first and second, but at the same time, this is where it gets tricky. So for me, I find people kind of overlooking Newcastle a little bit because me personally, I feel like Newcastle could give a fight. So I could see Newcastle getting top four again. And at third, it might be a bit controversial, but it's between Chelsea and Liverpool. Because if you watch it really good, how Eddie Howe is going and how these mid-table teams are working up, it's going to be tougher this season, especially with the likes of West Ham and Aston Villa improving. And I feel like the first place already considered because City, although people say City got their engine taken away in Gundogan, Kovacic is a good deal. I don't care if nobody say Kovacic is a really good deal for them. It fits their chemistry and their football really well, and he's a hard worker and he's good on the ball. So for me, that would be different. But United gets the second place for me because, in spite of the deadwood, if you watch our preseason games, although yes, we didn't win a lot, we weren't really losing because we weren't good. We were losing because of mistakes. And if you iron out those mistakes and you bring in the transfers of how we have Onana as a keeper, how we have possibly Harry Maguire leaving, and the likes of hopefully Tobido and Pavard or the guy from Bayer Leverkusen, I can't say his name properly. Either one of those come.
Edmund Tapsoba.
That's sober, yes. Even one of those come in, your backline is already improved. You have a backline that can go against anybody. And with Onana, where in the final, where Pep said it was hard to play counter against him because he knows that he reads the game very well. So for me, we could give City a push. I don't think we'll win the league yet. We could push for it, but I don't think we'll win it. But we could do something. I want to say people will say Arsenal easy in the top four, but I don't know because in a way they don't have a number 9. I find that would really push them to look dangerous with Gabriel Jesus being injured, and I'm not seeing them go for a number 9 just yet in a main striker. The team has a good midfield, has a good engine, but if you're telling me they're going with Gabriel Jesus and they're letting Saka and the rest in that front line go for the goals, then no, I don't see them doing it, especially when teams are improving now. So yeah, that's my top 4.
So say it again. You have City, United. Who's third?
Third, I will give third to more or less Chelsea or Liverpool.
You gotta pick
And
one. You gotta pick one.
all right, I feel Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool will be third, and fourth because I like controversy. Newcastle.
All right. Okay. So you have the same, at least top 3 as Big Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree with you all on the top 2. I think it's gonna be a Manchester top 2. Unfortunately, City is just even with their departures, they still have at least 2 world-class players at each position. So they have the depth covered, which also covers a squad rotation. I see United finishing second. Now, when it comes to third and fourth, this is where it gets tricky right now because the only reason why I would not put Liverpool in the top 4 as of yet is yes, they are incredible up front. Their attacking power that they have right now is ridiculous. However, I am still suspect about their midfield. And also Virgil van Dijk is not the same Van Dijk as before. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
However, I can tell you Alexander Arnold in that midfield role they have him now, it looks like a brand new player and looks like a big threat now.
Yeah,
so I have to give them with that, but I just because of their midfield, I just cannot see them in top 4 as of yet.
Oh.
Chelsea, I think may make a decent run at it as well too. The big thing which we alluded to as well, they have no European football, so they're pretty much get all week to focus on this, and then they get the cup competition sprinkled off here and there with Carabao Cup or FA Cup as well. It seems that people are writing off Newcastle. People like Newcastle seems to be slowly but surely going under the radar. Like, have you seen like the players they have signed to fit their system? They've been slowly but surely putting people under there, and I still think that they are going to be people are going to underestimate them, even though we saw what happened last year with them. I think that they're going to be in the top 4 again this year. Yeah, so it's in terms of a third place spot for me now, and that's where that's a tricky spot for me right now. I think Arsenal will finish third. So it will be the same top 4 as this season, but in a different order. So second and third will swap.
Yeah.
But other than that, the other teams are coming, and it's going to be just as tight for a top 4 race, and as it was last year. I actually think the gap from second to third will be a lot more this year. A lot less this year than it was this previous season. I do want to go to some of the comments on this one right now. Mr. Martin Phillip is saying Man City, of course, number one, Liverpool second, Man United third, and Arsenal fourth. Zahir is saying for his top four, he is going Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle. He has to pray Arsenal wins because he can't live with either a City 4P or a Liverpool 20th title. Liverpool is not getting anywhere near
Zahir, you live in Trinidad and Tobago. There are no Manchester City fans.
There are no City fans.
What do you have to live with? I live in Canada. I live in North America. I don't have to deal with that. You live in Trinidad and Tobago, 1. 2, Zahir. Check Fabrizio Romano's tweet for Rasmus Hojlund. Here we go. And check Manchester City announcing the treble. And see which tweet got more retweets and more likes.
I'm on top of it too. You want Arsenal noise? You want that noise?
But Arsenal fans are the funniest but still most annoying fans on this earth, boy. If City won the treble on a Saturday, and by Sunday we were talking about something different. That's how bad it is. If City does a 4-peat, so what? Okay, cool.
So Courtney is saying if he's being realistic based on the transfer moves, he's got City, United, Arsenal, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool. Oh, so you went even further with this. All right.
If we're working on the transfer move, if we going based on transfers, then Nottingham Forest got to be up there as well too.
Yeah.
That them saying about 2 football teams, big man.
Ashton is saying Arsenal, United, City, Newcastle. That is different.
Arsenal with Gabriel Jesus to win out.
Don't get me wrong. City did lose also Riyad Mahrez as well too, and that he had a load of assists.
But also look at who they have come in. They could fill in that spot too.
And you
can have a developing Phil Foden come in there now too.
And not just that, the Gvardiol deal is a very smart one too. People overlook that one. That was a very good deal.
Correct. It's just I just wish like that I could be more confident in putting City players in my fantasy squad, but we know how Pep rotates those players all the time. So it's very difficult to do anything with them except for Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
So Ashton is saying that he only picked Arsenal because he doesn't want City to win 4 straight.
Bro.
And then he's also saying Trinidad has a lot of City fans.
No, they don't. They have confused Chelsea. They have confused Chelsea fans.
Phil, I will let the Trini answer this one.
No, most City fans were Pep Guardiola fans and Barca fans.
Thank you.
Just don't like Barca. That's really it. No, and nobody really out here like where about City 2008. If you ask them about Sean Gota, you ask them about any of them, they don't know. They're not fans. City are not fans. There are no City fans in Trinidad. They're just, as my friend says, Pep Guardiola fans. That's it.
Are confused Chelsea fans. That's all they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Chelsea fans are really confused. Chelsea fans are really So that's a fact.
So Zahir is saying that I just find we suffer too much for too long under these owners and poor managers. We need to reclaim glory. It's coming. It's coming under Ten Hag.
Personally, I feel if we get Harry out and get a defender and plus get Amrabat, I could see us really challenging, not winning, but fighting it. I could see us fighting it.
I still think we're 2 seasons away from lifting the title again, personally. But yeah, because I always said it would take him 5 years to really get his squad that he needs. But with the overachiever Ten Hag is, he could probably do it in 4.
Yeah, I can understand,
but I wanted to save some time now for the end of the show now for our second to last topic and probably Big Phil's new favorite segment right now, memes of the week. So it's pretty self-explanatory on this one. Keeping up with current events in the footballing community right now. So I will start with this one first right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do I even need to put any explanation for this one?
Good afternoon, Martin Phillip. Thanks for joining.
Then also to pour more salt on the wound with that one. decides to skip school for
No
a day.
man, no
School on
man.
that very specific day.
You
Sorry,
can,
Aguero.
you can apply this. You can apply this to the World Cup too, but no way want to talk about that.
It's on there.
Oh shucks.
Yeah, the
Oh.
caption memes of the week blocking it, right? But
Yeah, I could take it off. So
Ooh.
there you are.
Oh no. Oh, y'all the time with that one. That's cool. That's cool. That's really cool.
And so here's the next one as well too. Looks like the U.S. women's national team's next strategy to get paid equal to the men's team is to be equally disappointing.
Ja.
Wow.
That's a low one.
Look how we gonna get canceled now, boy. Woo!
That's a low one. That's a low one.
Phil, on this one, I am okay with getting canceled on this one.
Woo!
I am okay with getting canceled on this one because you want to speak a lot. When you're winning, you need to be able to take it when you're not winning and not doing what you're doing.
That's why I really don't like the US women's team. They're really sore losers. They're big sore losers.
But moving on from this one now, Guardiola asking back owners to give him £300 million after losing to Arsenal.
I mean, this is a reoccurring meme almost every season, but it's still funny. I like it.
So everybody's asking about the thoughts for our new starting 11.
Oh boy.
I saw Arsenal man put this in our football group, and I asked him, so what's Ramsdale excuse?
Well, anyway, so people are saying that they found a new somebody found the best impersonation of Onana that they've seen.
Listen.
Oh Lord.
Nah, if you don't laugh at your own players, then what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And last but most certainly not least. Yeah, if you can't laugh at your own players, then
yeah.
David
other players.
David De Gea, boy. Well.
And gentlemen, now it is time for my personal favorite for the last segment of the show.
Go away, Mama Loka Boo Boo Day. Shut your mouth, go away, Mama Loka Boo Day.
Well, gentlemen, it's time for Top Shotter and Boo Boo Man. So for those who are new to the show, first off, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That is most important. Second of all, Top Shotter, that is the man, woman, person, thing, whatever, that just has the Midas touch. Everything that they're touching is turned into gold. That they can do no wrong. Boo Boo Man is the complete opposite of that. Every single thing that they touch just goes to complete, well, boo-boo. So on this topic right now, CJ, since you didn't want to go first on the last one, you got it on this one.
Top shutters this week. Personally, top shutter this week, although it's an old one, but I'll say it. The top shutter this week is the person who decided to not start back their trade United account. Big up to them.
Start about what?
What is that?
The Trade United account. So you know United Trade?
Oh, trade.
Yeah. I have to say because this man decided, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm happy for him. Good for him, dog. Start to see outside. Also top shutters and the Boo Man for the week. For me, it has to be Lukaku because again, bro, I'm telling you, hey, stay right there in the crowd. That real embarrassing, bro. And also Boo Boo for the week for me personally is also PSG because every day is a walking L with that Mbappe situation. So yeah. Top shutter is the person who decided to not do United. Also, I had to give myself top shutter because I secure PS5. My boy secure PS5, so I'm good to go.
Big up to CJ for getting the PS5. I still can't even find one for a good price up here, so big up for that
Really?
one.
What you do?
Yeah, yeah, it's like that up here.
Yes.
All right, Big Phil.
I had a couple of boo-boos. I only had like two main ones. The first one was Liverpool. You already know how much Southampton want from Romeo Lavia. And look how Chelsea come in and place one bid, and it is closer than the last 2 or 3 bids that you put in. So it's possibly Chelsea could be getting Romeo Lavia. Chelsea are playing no European football this season, right? My second boo-boo is going to be Megan Rapinoe.
Damn.
Megan Rapinoe just retired from the women's team USA, and a reporter asks her, "What were your favorite moments in playing for the women's national team?" And most soccer players or football players that are about to retire would say a goal they scored or the women winning the World Cup back to back. No, you know what she said? Her
Equal
favorite
pay,
moment
equal
of
pay.
the World Cup was getting equal pay to the men. How do you win 2 back-to-back World Cups? Something that I can't remember if what team is there a men's team that has done that? I think so. Brazil, right? Yeah. Only one
I think
men's.
Argentina. No, did Argentina do it?
Argentina didn't do it. No, I know
Or,
Brazil did it for
or
sure.
Germany. I gotta check and see.
Yeah. No men's team other than Brazil has won the World Cup back to back. You have won it with USA back to back.
No. Uruguay. That was
Uruguay.
Uruguay, okay, perfect. But you have won the World Cup back to back with USA, a team that is not even a strong contender on the men's side, and you're trying to tell me that the best part of playing for the women's national team is getting equal pay to the men? Are you serious? Anyway,
Hey,
I'm glad.
Hey,
I'm glad that she missed that penalty to send USA out of the World Cup.
hey, one thing I could say the silver line is the girl says she got a bag. I can't fix it. Nobody get no bag, to be honest.
Whether she get the same as the men or not, she getting a bag. But anyway,
Hey, bag is bag. I can't fix it.
yeah. So,
so in terms of my top shotter, I had 2 top shotters. I had Daniel Levy, because I'm not gonna lie, Daniel Levy is not the most liked businessman, but Daniel Levy can get cheap deals, and Daniel Levy can make you pay over the top for his players, right?
True.
He's gonna milk Bayern Munich for, I kid you not, probably 100 mil plus for Harry Kane in his last year of his contract, right?
If you get
So
out
definitely Daniel Levy gets part of the top shotters for the week. I had one more top shotter, and it has to be the Manchester United and West Ham situation with us letting go Harry Maguire, right? That's a top shotter moment, because I think Harry Maguire has been holding us back from, excelling to the next level, right? That's all I'm going to say. But that's a top shotter moment for me as well, too. The selling of Harry Maguire.
So before I say mine, I want to go through the comments because we definitely have quite a few in there right now. So I will start first with Courtney. Top shotter of the week is Aquaman. So for those who are not aware of who
Kofi
what he's
Kingfish.
talking about, there was a massive brawl that took place here up in the States in Alabama, the heart of the South here in the U.S.
Over the cheer.
And no. In the middle of the fight, one kid swam across the lake to get to the fight and go there. and ended the stereotype that black people in the U.S. cannot swim in one quick video clip. So that is why he is saying that has a top shutter for this week. Aquaman. I have heard so many names for that guy this week. I heard Scuba. Yeah, Kofi Kingfish. I heard 21 Tilapia. I heard Scuba Gooding Jr. Like there's so many different names I heard for that guy this week. Aquaman, Aquaman, yeah, so many different of them. Yeah.
Also too, they say top shutter because they said he invented the foldable chair was a black man. He saw the vision. Dog.
So Courtney is saying Booba Man is PSG. They need to sort out their player issues. Zahir is saying once Harry goes through, top shutter is David Moyes. God bless Moisey if he frees us from Harry. Martin Phillip is saying Booba Man is Arsenal fans. They won a trophy and happy. They did what they call a United Trophy. Are there any difference?
Oh, you mean the Charity Cup versus the Community Shield?
Yeah, basically how they were laughing at we won the Carabao Cup, but they celebrated the Community Shield.
Just a glorified friendly. That's all it is.
But last time we spoke, we said controversial opinions. I will still say Community Shield counts as a major trophy.
Really? What?
It's like how I also say the Club World Cup is a major trophy as well too.
I mean, yeah, the club.
And I also count the Super Cup as a major trophy as well too.
I will count the Cup World Cup and the Super Cup, but I ain't so sure what the Community Shield.
Because you have to win something to get there.
Yeah,
I don't see it as a major trophy because you don't have to go through any stages.
Yes, you do.
To get to that.
Yes, you do. Typically you have to win a trophy. Typically, you have to win the Premier League or the FA Cup to get there. So that could be your stages.
But here's the thing: Arsenal were there by default because they came second.
And that's where I was saying that that's why I said it could be controversial.
Because
normally, yes, that is the case. But because Man City won the FA Cup and the Premier League, then they have to get it. But moving on now, Robert Wallace is saying Boo Man is Megan Rapinoe. So glad she's getting slammed. Stop dyeing your hair blue. Also, thanks Arsenal fans for saying Community Shield is a major trophy.
Robert, the girl back to the girl get the bag. She just fumbled the penalty.
He vexed with her dyeing her hair blue because you already know when a woman you already know when these women dye the hair these different rainbow colors. You know what I mean? But that's a different.
I gotta read this one out loud. Chelsea stealing Liverpool player like certain Birdman does be stealing birds.
Look off on that one. Good night. No, I do not have any birds. Please stop, guys. It's a joke. Let's not do that.
Why are you guilting yourself already? I never said any names. Nobody said any names. Why are you guilting yourself?
No, but he said could me. I'm just not to Zahir. I not feel guilty of anything.
All right, so I guess I have to go now. And so my boo-boo man for this week is the entire women's national team.
Which women?
Which women's national team?
Oh, sorry, I gotta say the U.S. women's national team.
Oh, because if you do that on Trinidad, nah, man, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, nah, man. Don't do that.
No. Sorry, I have to say. Sorry, living here in the States, I gotta say the U.S. women's national team. That team was an exact example of when you have 11 individuals on a side instead of one team. That was it completely. It seemed to me they cared more about off the field issues and their brand more so than doing what they're supposed to on the pitch and winning. It's something similar to what we had at United for quite a while, when you had Paul Pogba here being the catalyst of this. But in this case, I still think it was Megan Rapinoe that was doing it. That was the catalyst for it. But I still think there's a lot of talent there on that team. And come the next World Cup, I think they will be a force again because I think the youth will use this as a learning example. But they gotta hold that loss for now. So my top shotter for this week is the cap that started that brawl. Because that cap just became the universal signal for black people, black people everywhere now.
Y'all gotta send me this video after this podcast. I've seen
you have not seen it. You have not seen it.
I've seen small clips, but send me the entire video after this.
The man took his cap and flung it in the air into another dimension, but did it so flamboyantly in the middle of getting beat up. And all of a sudden, it was on. And those same people that attacked him had a nice good bush bath after that one.
Man, send me the video of the man swimming and the man with the cap. Send me it all, man.
I was sending now.
Yeah.
Hold on, because Big to Big. You ever watched the last Avengers movie? And
Well, hold on, CJ. You need to tell your people now as well that during the show is not the time for you to do your antics as well that you know for afterwards too. By the way,
hello. It's not like that. Please leave me alone.
Haha.
All right, I sent it in the group there. I sent it in the group there. See, yeah.
but yeah. So again, that cap will forever be enshrined. Like I've already seen it now. People have turned that into they're calling it now instead of the bat signal, the black signal. So like either the cap signal, like there's so many different things I have seen out of that right now. So that has got to be my top shotter for this week. But gentlemen, it has been a great show. We covered a lot today. We covered the upcoming changes now to the Premier League with the rules. We covered right now potential Ten Hag signing injured players potentially. We covered top 4 predictions. We had memes of the week. We had top shot of Ugulan. And then most importantly, we covered Harry Maguire potentially leaving. Gentlemen, it has been a great show today. Any parting words from anybody?
I'm praying for
Parting words.
Praying for Amrabat.
Yeah, I realize that the Amrabat deal gone a bit dead, but I guess we could discuss that another time. Yeah, I saw what I like also is that with the sale of Harry Maguire, you saw almost immediately we were linked with 3 defenders: Pavard, Todibo, and Tapsuba. Right? This would have been United probably 5 or 6 years ago, right? But I like that.
Not Ashton.
I think I have to. Well, I have mentioned them way too many times on this show. As it is, and nothing is changing. So the more I do it, it's just I feel like I am living to the definition of insanity. But yeah, it is what it is. But gentlemen, it has been a great show as well. And like I always say, Red Devils, we keep the red flag flying high because Man United will never die.